So for several years here on my channel, I've come and done a web recommendation on the Mystic Makeover series by Mr. Internet Man. And I stand by a lot of those recommendations. I honestly believe you need to, check out Mystic Makeover due to the fact that it's a very fun series that he does. I mean, basically, it's not like one ongoing series, through kind of continuity, kind of standalone continuity, if you will. And what I mean by that is, basically, there are some standalone comics that do nod to the continuity of previous web comics that he does. Now, again, like I said, I talked about this for a couple of years, and I stand by what I said. I highly recommend you guys check it out because it's very intriguing, it's very interesting, it's very fun. It's unique, it's lighthearted. It's basically one of those kind of web comics that when they get published, it always makes you wonder exactly what the main character or characters are going to get into this time compared to the last time. And it's really, really intriguing, and like I said, I highly, highly recommend you guys check it out. Along with that is a series that another person, Minor-Alterations, who is a fan of Mr. Internet Man's Mystic Makeover series, has created, and that is called, it's named after the title character of Mystic Makeover, called Demonica. And as I've mentioned before about that, it's a very interesting series because it builds upon an idea that Minor-Alterations came up with by including their original character, Ruby Walker, who is an FBI agent, into the fray, and basically allowing Demonica, through one of her alter egos, the seductress, sultry Monica character, basically, she allows Ruby to experience the powers, the free will, with the powers that she has to do anything she wants, to become anyone she wants, to become anything she wants, to morph and liquefy and all that. And so far, it's at chapter 10. Now, the author, Minor-Alterations, or Minor-Alterations, if you will, has taken a bit of a hiatus. You need to take a mental break once in a while when you do these kind of stories to kind of refresh your mind so that when you decide to refocus on that story, you'll come back bigger, better than ever, and you'll be able to include and introduce some new concepts and new ideas that you might have considered but didn't explore until you pretty much wanted to come up with the right solution or the right story or chapter to include them in. And that's what I think Minor-Alterations is doing. Now, Minor-Alterations is still around. They're a part of a new, more adult website, more of an adult fan fiction interactive website, if you will, where one of their main stories, called the Selena Chronicles, is being housed at. And the Selena Chronicles, which is Seleena Chronicles, is based around the villainess of Men in Black 2, MIB2. So, that's what it's being housed at, along with another story that they're working on, another interactive story called Your Omnipotent Girlfriend, or Omnipotent, Omnipotent Girlfriend. They've added that story to it as well. I don't know if they're going to add the Demonica story to it. We'll have to see. They do have another one based on a symbiont. It's called The Model and the Symbiont, and it's already entering an interesting phase in the story. And I think they have some other stories as well. They have, I think, what's known as Liquid Metal Lust. They have I think that's one of them. And there's a few others, but Minor-Alterations has got a lot of stories that they're working on, that they've completed, and on the process of really getting to that next level when it comes to these kind of stories and adding more to it than just what you would expect out of, let's say, the Demonica comics or web comic series that Mr. Internet Man does on occasions. Now, the reason I bring all this up is because, like I said, I stand by my recommendations of them, of you guys checking them out. But also the fact that it shows you that, in my opinion, these are the kind of stories that nowadays could really benefit, as I've mentioned before, from possibly being adapted into an animation, maybe an adult animation, that could be seen on the likes of Netflix, could be seen on the likes of Hulu, could be seen on the likes of Amazon Prime or the new Paramount Plus or HBOMax. These are the kind of, or even Apple TV, if you will. These are the kind of shows, are the kind of stories that could do well in an animated, adapted environment, because you could actually see these come to life. You can actually see these happening, as you've read them, but with more, liveliness. No offense to the stories, but more liveliness to them than ever before. In fact, the closest I believe we have gotten to that, believe it or not, is through a Patreon, someone on Patreon, if I can find them real quickly. Hold on for a sec. Is someone on Patreon who basically, let me see if I can find them. I got my phone with me right now, so I'm looking up the app. Let's see. Come on. All right. It is Trouble TRO. I guess Trouble for short. Trouble TRO. TRO. He did basically an adaptation. I think it was him that did an adaptation or a CGI remake of the first Mystic Makeover comic that Mr. Internet Man ever did. And it looks really good. All the details look really good. And there are some added details as well that we didn't see beforehand. Let me see if I can pop it up here. Yeah, it's right here. It's Mystic Makeover. Basically, it's more of a 3D environment or 3D rendering of the first story, and it has a few added differences and stuff like that. But it's basically, it kind of tells you it kind of shows you what the show or the story would look like in 3D and CGI, and he even adds the 8th page, which is also just a readable comic page, as an AVI movie file, so you can kind of see what the transformation looks like in animation, or sort of get an animation like feel for it. But right there, Trouble TRO, TRO. Is willing to do something like that and kind of give us an idea of what it would look like in CGI or 2D CGI animation, whatever the case may be, 2D, 3D, animation, like what we're getting with Tom and Jerry and Space Jam and all that this year, then it definitely tells you that, it's possible. It is indeed possible, for these things to become a reality. I mean, I brought up before when I've talked about this, Kibo and the Wonder Beast, I think. And that was a webcomic originally, and it got turned into a 3-season, within 1 year, 3-season series, animated series on Netflix, courtesy of DreamWorks. So what's to say that Mystic Makeover couldn't achieve that? Who's to say it couldn't achieve that? And it's not just the only one either. There's a story I've talked about as well that I've done a review on lately in the most recent chapters, Metamorphosized to Malleability by Michelle, known on DeviantArt as Jacka LaCour. And to me, that would work out great, especially with the story, the way it goes, up and down. It has all these twists and turns. It has the fun, it has the drama, and has all this kind of stuff in there. That, to me, is a story that could really work. It really could. And I think if given the opportunity, to be adapted into an animation of some kind, I think people will enjoy it. Another one that I think people would enjoy is by Grape Hathenia. F.M. Isaacs, F.M. Isaacs. And again, she's known as Grape Hathenia on DeviantArt. She currently has a few books out on Amazon called the Fox series or the Fox Serum series. I gotta look them up again. But basically, the one I first found out about her is for a series she was doing called What Dreams May Become, which I guess she's currently still doing as we speak. And the series is actually really, really good because just like with Metamorphosized to Malleability, it has its ups and downs. It has its twists and turns. It has its comedy. It has its drama. It has its funness. It has its, adultness. You know what I'm talking about. So it has all that. And to me, that is a good example of a series that could work as an adapted animated series. For adults, that is. So to me, I think all these series that I've mentioned, if given the opportunity, could work as in animated form. But the question would be, where exactly would they end up? Who exactly would take them on if that was the case? Well, I'll look at it this way. I look at Mystic Makeover. I look at that as well as Metamorphosized to Malleability. I look at those two series, and I say HBOMax. I really do. I know some people will say Netflix, but I think because of the very adultness that you get, I would say both of them would be HBOMax bound if given the opportunity. I'm not saying Netflix wouldn't take a stab at them to add them to the original lineup of content to provide. Netflix more than likely would. But if I was to take a strong guess because of what's provided, I'd have to go with HBOMax on them. I really would. I really would. Now, what about, let's say, What Dreams May Become? What about that series? Well, I think a series like What Dreams May Become could be Netflix bound, if not Amazon bound. So I look at Amazon Prime or Netflix as being the home of an animated adaptation of What Dreams May Become, just because of how it is. And then if they wanted to do one based around the model and the symbiont and a story like Liquid Metal Lust or something, I can see those two probably going to Amazon or HBO Max. I really do. So this is how I see it. For the services that I think could take them, I think, for Mystic Makeover, for an adaptation of the Mystic Makeover series / Demonica series, I could see either HBO Max or Netflix. The same goes for an animated adaptation of Metamorphosized to Malleability. For a series for an animated adaptation of Grape Hathenia's What Dreams May Become, I could see either Netflix or Amazon Prime. And then for something based around or adapted or inspired from the likes of the Model and the Symbiont series that Minor-Alterations is also working on, along with the Demonica series, as well as the Liquid Metal series, or Liquid Metal Lust series, I could see either Amazon Prime or HBO Max for those. And honestly, depending on whether or not something like this happens in the future, I think any one of those streaming services would be a great home for either one of these animated adaptations. And here's the thing about me bringing this up. you never say never. Never say never to stuff like that happening, because it takes only one phone call, one email, one notice by someone, in a position of power or influence to make, it'll make those shows an animated reality. So that's all I'm really going to say, guys, on it. Again, to me, the Mystic Makeover / the Monica series, I think, could end up on Netflix or HBOMax. Same with Metamorphosized Malleability. What Dreams May Become, if they did an adaptation on that, I think would be Amazon Prime on Netflix. And for an adaptation or inspired adaptation of The Model and the Symbiont and Liquid Metal Lust by Minor-Alterations, I can definitely see Amazon Prime or HBO Max. But let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Check out the site. Check out those stories over on DeviantArt. You can find them. Just type up the names that I provided. Look up artists. Heck, even Google these names: Mr. Internet Man, DeviantArt, Minor-Alterations, and Grape Hythenia. And on Google, also add in DeviantArt next to their names, and you'll be surprised about what you see and what you will get. So check them out. Just thought I'd come on here and just give you my thoughts on that. And I will talk to you all later. God bless. Take care. I am out.